National Signing Day just doesn't appear as if much is going to happen. I'm curious if you missed National Signing Day, if this is the right way to go for not only Tennessee but college football. And Caleb, I'll be real frank with you. I'm not sure that it is. Um, I think that you're going to lose some elite coaches to the NFL because of dealing with the NIL and dealing with the National Signing Day. That because it was moved up to December, and yes, it is National Signing Day today, but Tennessee, according to my sources, is not going to sign anybody. And it has altered the schedule in which coaches used to take their vacation in June. Well, now June's a recruiting month. So, I mean, these guys are lucky to get 2 weeks off. I would like to see it altered moving forward. Now, you know how the NCAA moves incredibly slowly, so I don't think that that's going to happen. But I also think it would benefit Tennessee if it moved in some shape, form, or fashion back to the way it used to be. Always thought Tennessee got a lot done during January that was under Philip Fulmer. I thought they made up ground. They always seemed to be, even with some of their better classes, just a little bit behind, but would make up ground in January and close strong. Now, there was the one exception where they finished about, I think, 28th in the country in the mid 2000s. I don't remember the exact year. You might. But for the most part, they closed strong. And I think Josh Heupel would be a strong closer as well. I would like to see an adjustment, but I'm not going to hold my breath.
Yeah, I think here's when I think they're going to be forced to have an adjustment. We know what's coming up with college football. In 2 years, the college football playoff expands to 12 teams. That playoff is going to start in December. You're going to ask coaches who build their programs on recruiting, which most coaches in the playoff will, to have to close the deal with recruits as they're preparing for a first-round playoff game. There's no way in heck that coaches are going to be able to all pull that off together. And it's bad enough with bowl practices right now, but at least, with early signing period, okay, you don't have a bowl game until January or late December if it's one that matters per se. And now you're saying, okay, when is the early signing period? Usually middle of December. I mean, you're talking like the same week that they're going to have their first round playoff game, they're going to have to be closing deals with recruits. And Dave, I swear the stress, wouldn't that kill a coach at that point?
Yeah, I mean, I'm told by many people in the coaching community that these guys are ready to bolt to the NFL as fast as they can. That the whole mentoring of athletes and growing young men is kind of passe nowadays. They show up and oftentimes they're already expecting a check and they think they've got everything figured out. And goodness knows I love him to death, but I've got an 18-year-old, so I know how that is. And I just don't see that coaching, to me, from the outside looking in and from the people I talk to, college coaching is nearly as attractive. You have to deal with NIL, constant roster management. Now, for some weird reason, I think Josh Heupel kind of enjoys it, and I think he actually is very good at it. I don't know why in the world he likes it, because I wouldn't want to reset my roster each and every year, but he seems to be fine with it. And that's the way he's handling his business, and it seems to work. Now, I don't know that Tennessee can. I don't know that Tennessee had a great transfer portal time, but I do think that ultimately Josh Heupel will be a guy that is better suited to managing a constantly changing roster than a lot of other guys.